Now, with an 11 breaking news alert. This is KKTV 11 News at 5:30.
Local leaders have said that they are sensing new momentum in the local vaccine effort. Now El Paso County is crossing some new milestones in putting shots in arms. Where we stand tonight. Good to have you with us for 11 News at 5:30. I'm Adam Atchison. Let's begin with this 11 breaking news alert. First thing, the state health department says the nationwide winter storms are delaying vaccine shipments meant for Colorado. The state says that delay is impacting Colorado's allocated 133,000 doses. They were expected to arrive today through Thursday. The health department says they're now working with public health agencies and healthcare providers to ensure that no already scheduled appointments need to be canceled. This isn't just a problem in Colorado. CBS is reporting that it's happening all over the nation. We don't know how long that delay is going to last, but county health officials say in the meantime, we're in a good spot right now in terms of getting shots into people's arms. 11 News reporter Ashley Franco is live in Colorado Springs. Unfortunately, that means this delay in the vaccine shipment couldn't come at a worse time, Ashley.
Right, Adam. Just today, the county health department released an update showing vaccine numbers increased by 6,000 last week compared to the week before. According to the El Paso County Public Health Department director, local clinics administered more vaccines in the last week than in the first 5 weeks a vaccine was available. The health department reports about 50% of the population 70 and older has gotten at least their first shot. County commissioners call clinics like UC Health a mega site as they vaccinated more than 10,000 people across their Colorado Springs clinics in 1 week. They tell me because of that, the county is moving in the right direction.
So we've got some big events coming up this week. So again, to our citizens, call your healthcare provider, get to the right phone number, the right location, get an appointment made, and go and get that vaccine.
We are working to find out how those vaccine delayed shipments will impact local clinics. We will let you know as soon as we hear back. For now, reporting live in Colorado Springs, I'm Ashley Franco, KKTV 11 News.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to wonder, so we'll follow up. Ashley, thank you. Starting tomorrow, another Colorado county will face slightly less COVID-19 restrictions. Fremont County moves down to level blue on the state's COVID-19 dial. That starts at 6 a.m. in the morning. It allows businesses to have 50% capacity or up to 175 people indoors. That's really only a small change from yellow, but it does also mean that restaurants will be able to serve alcohol until midnight. Gyms there can also now have up to 175 people indoors at once. Again, starting tomorrow, 6 a.m. Let's get to No Wait Weather and Chief Meteorologist Brian Bledsoe tonight. I know there's been some snow falling. Who's seeing some right now?
Yeah, a few flurries and light snow showers, Adam, dotting the parts of the Pikes Peak region. But you can see as this was coming off of Monument Hill, pretty much just kind of fell apart as it moved its way into northern Colorado Springs. I don't think that's disappointing many folks out there this evening, nor do I expect this to really be a huge deal here in southern Colorado. And if we widen the view, you can see most of the snow showers that are a little bit heavier with the darker blue are up here to the west of Colorado Springs. Get ready to move into Cripple Creek. Again, little burst of snow, and then it moves through, and most, if not all of this, will pretty much go away here in a couple of hours. It's driven kind of by the daytime heating. I know that sounds stupid, right? It wasn't that hot out there today, but if you get just enough bubbling in the atmosphere, you can do that with the setup we have out there. Lots of clouds, 28 degrees here in Colorado Springs, so not a bad way to finish the day. And up the road in Monument, you're doing just fine too, 27, a couple of flurries moving through. We have more snow in the forecast tomorrow afternoon and evening, and that could be somewhat more impactful. I'll share why with you coming up in just a little bit, Adam.
Thanks, Brian. We'll see you in a few minutes. We have an 11 call for action alert tonight. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is warning all of us about a scam that they say is impacting a lot of people. Deputies say that some folks have been getting calls claiming to be from the Sheriff's Office, saying that the victim had missed jury duty or has an active warrant out for their arrest. Deputies say scammers will often demand money to be paid, and they say if you do get a call like this, hang up immediately and call the Sheriff's Office. Colorado's U.S. Attorney is preparing to resign. Jason Dunn says that resignation will go into effect at the end of this month. Dunn joined the U.S. Attorney's Office in 2018 after being appointed by former President Trump. He is one of more than 50 top federal prosecutors who were asked to resign as the Biden administration moves to appoint new federal prosecutors. That process is a normal occurrence after changes in presidential administrations. A shooting involving Colorado Springs police officers is now ruled justified by the district attorney's office. Investigators say police were originally called to a road rage encounter between a couple of drivers near Fort Carson back on November 4th. Officers say two vehicles pulled into a Safeway parking lot, and when one left, the second driver told police he had a gun. Police say the suspect got out of the car and refused to drop his gun after officers followed him. The DA's office says that suspect, later identified as Dean Tresente, was shot and killed after he reportedly opened fire on an officer. CDOT says law enforcement across the state arrested less people for DUIs during this year's Super Bowl weekend compared to last year's. According to CDOT, 175 Coloradans were arrested for impaired driving between February 5th through the 8th. That's down from 299 people the previous year. CDOT says CSPD made 19 arrests this year, and the El Paso County Sheriff's Office arrested 12. A couple of new food pantries are now open in southern Colorado. Ribbon cuttings were held earlier today. One location called Sunnyside Market is in Pueblo off of 8th Street. The other is in Fountain off of Iowa Avenue. They're hosted by the Care and Share Food Bank, which says that people in need of food assistance can shop at each market free of charge. The food banks distribute nearly 22 million pounds of food in southern Colorado every year to those in need. You know, winter storms are leading to an uptick in serious injuries from the cold in our state. Still to come on 11 News at 5:30, the frostbite symptoms you need to look out for if you find yourself outside. Plus, the state legislature is back at work tonight. What's in a $1 billion stimulus proposal? They're making a priority right now. Welcome back. Lawmakers are back to work after a 5-week break at our state capitol. They paused over COVID-19 concerns, but then reconvened this morning with a stimulus plan as the #1 topic. 11 News reporter Robbie Reynolds followed today's session and joins us live from his home. Robbie, what's in this plan? It's a $1 billion plan that's proposed by the governor.
Yeah, Adam, well, it provides money for a lot of different things, including families and businesses impacted by COVID-19, but also covers things not directly impacted by the pandemic, such as transportation infrastructure. Also provides money for telehealth services as well. Democrats and Republicans both expressed interest today in passing a stimulus package. No action was taken today, but it will be one of the signature bills over the next 117 days. That's how long the session is scheduled for. The Senate Minority Leader encouraged the passing of the stimulus, but was skeptical of the cost, while the Senate President is full steam ahead.
We come ready and willing to not just recover from this pandemic and this civil discord that has gripped our nation, but build back a better, strong, more just Colorado.
We are encouraged by what we think we hear about stimulus spending. We're encouraged by what we think we hear about not spending those stimulus dollars until we actually have them.
Now, the stimulus package is likely going to be a part of Jared Polis's State of the State address tomorrow. KKTV will have coverage of that speech. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Robbie Reynolds, KKTV 11 News.
A lot of eyes are going to be on that moving forward. All right, Robbie, thank you. Colorado hospitals are reporting an uptick in cases of frostbite because of the cold temperatures. UC Health says 2 people are being treated for frostbite at their Memorial Central location. The Anschutz Center in Aurora is currently treating 26 cases of frostbite. UC Health says it's important to see a doctor as soon as possible if you suspect that you have frostbite. Here are some of the frostbite symptoms that you really should be aware of if you find yourself outside in the bitter cold. Shivering is one of the first signs of the body losing heat. Maybe you'll feel numb and have clumsy movements. That's part of it. You should also, doctors say, watch for skin that is pale or has lost color. And finally, pain that persists for 45 minutes after rewarming, followed by increased redness or discoloration. All of those are symptoms of frostbite. Stay safe out there. Take a look at this. Colorado Springs Fire Department tweeted this video of a broken sprinkler line inside somebody's home. You see that water pouring out of the pipe there? CSFD said that they've responded to over 200 incidents just like this over the last few days because of the cold weather. Pipes freezing and bursting, like the sprinkler line in that video, can be common in frigid temperatures. To avoid these issues, plumbing experts say make sure that your sink drips just a little overnight to try to keep pipes from freezing. Also, opening cabinets can help get warmer air to the pipes down below. That's a good trick. Plumbing companies say if your pipes are already frozen, you should shut off your water immediately and apply heat to the frozen pipes by using a hairdryer or space heater. If you have major issues, obviously you can call a plumber, but be aware they say, the ones that we've spoken to, say they're very busy this time of the year. We've had such cold temperatures out there, Brian. Thankfully, it's a little warmer now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that Arctic air kind of come and go, and we have another round of snow on the way for tomorrow afternoon and evening. I'm going to detail that for you. The hour-by-hour forecast model coming up next.
KKTV 11 News, your breaking weather leader with your certified most accurate forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Brian Bledsoe.
Well, folks, going to the commercial break, I was advertising when our next round of snow will be moving through here. And I know we have a few snow showers out there tonight, but I think the one episode coming through tomorrow later in the day will be a little bit more significant. Fortunately, nothing to worry about early tomorrow morning. We'll just start out on the chilly side. A little bit of daytime heating will bubble up some clouds, first over the mountains, and then they'll make their way eastward out here over the Palmer Divide and between Colorado Springs and Denver. Now, the first half of the day, as quiet as it will be, the second half of the day, there'll be a little more development take place. And in a couple of locations, especially one up here between Colorado Springs and Denver, and then also down here along the I-25 corridor to the south and southwest of Pueblo. Those two areas are likely going to reap the benefits of this next little system coming through, and you can see the darker blues setting up here tomorrow evening in those exact locations. That kind of indicates the snow is going to be heavier in those spots. If you're not in those two locations, whatever you see is probably going to be fairly light, and our neighbors out on the eastern plains likely won't see much of anything out of this next event. That round lasts through about midnight tomorrow night and gradually starts to wind down, I think, as we head toward early on Thursday morning. So if you have to travel early on Thursday, or for that matter, even late tomorrow night, up and down I-25 or back to the west of the mountains, yeah, you're going to have some snow to contend with. And some of that snow could stack up just a little bit. And I want to preface these amounts by saying you're going to have to think of tomorrow as like a thunderstorm day. If you get underneath one of those thunderstorms, you're going to get quite a bit of weather. If you don't, probably not so much. And right up here in the Pikes Peak region, there'll be these scattered snow showers around, and some of them will be locally heavy. The farther east you get, considerably less amount. So about 2 to 5 inches possible up across the Pikes Peak region. I'll continue to fine-tune that tonight at 10 o'clock. And then south and southwest of Pueblo, a similar setup, 2 to 5 inches, maybe some more. Down into the west of Trinidad and some of those higher terrain areas farther east, not so much of anything. So we're putting this in kind of a moderate impact category tomorrow because not everybody's going to see those locally heavy snow showers. The greatest impact will be underneath those heavier snow showers. I know that's wonderful common sense, right? Of course it should be. And then low visibility and slick roadways where that snow actually occurs. So as your breaking weather leader, we'll walk you through that over the next day and then gradually start to turn the corner into some better weather around here, I would expect during the back part of this upcoming week. Thursday looks okay, just on the chilly side after we might have a few morning flurries. Friday, warmer. We're back up into the 40s, and we're going to keep those 40s around here for a while. For the weekend, looking just fine. Sunday, probably a little step backward there into the lower 40s before we take a giant leap forward, or at least it'll seem that way, for Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures getting back up there into the 50s. Pueblo, Kansas City, Woodland Park, you've got snow shower chances tomorrow afternoon and night. After that, I think the forecast looks mainly dry and noticeably warmer. A bunch of 50s in there, especially early next week. Taylor.
50s, that fires me up, Brian. All right, Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka will be facing off in the Australian Open semis. It's the matchup we've been waiting for. We'll show you how they got there coming up. Plus, the Nuggets already off and running in Boston. We'll update you on that one after the break.
This stock market report is sponsored by Carlson Financial, putting you on the better side of retirement planning. Now, KKTV 11 Sports with Taylor Kilgore.
The Denver Nuggets are kicking off a 4-game road trip tonight in Boston, and this team is finally bringing some momentum with them. Denver has won their last 3 straight games, most recent, of course, Sunday's statement win over the reigning champion Lakers. So what has this team back on track? Well, third quarters. You remember, they were the Nuggets' biggest downfall to start this season, and now they have finally found a way to bring some fire after halftime.
I give our guys credit for kind of taking ownership of that and taking a lot more pride in how we came out of halftime. So I think winning 3 third quarters in a row has really helped that. I think we're 5th in the NBA in fourth quarter defense. but now our third quarter has improved drastically in these last three.
Let's hope they can now make it 4 straight. Nuggets on the floor right now in Boston, down 4 at the end of the first quarter. We're just getting started in this one, of course, but Nikola Jokic already has 15 points, 6 for 6 so far from the field. We'll have those highlights for you tonight at 10. This year's NHL schedule has been a little crazy, to say the least. Perfect example, of course, the Avs are playing the Vegas Golden Knights 4 straight times this week, with Saturday's finale on the outdoor ice in Lake Tahoe. I guess you can pretend it's the best-of-7 playoff series. Why not? But today, the NHL announcing a long list of rescheduled games. Here's how it's affecting Colorado. The Avs, of course, one of many teams who have already been shut down this season. The 6 games you see on your screen, those are the 6 that they missed over that 2-week break earlier this month. They are back on the books, which is, of course, great news. Well, quarterback DJ Hammond's time at Air Force has officially come to a close. The quarterback went 12-4 as the Falcons starter, but never played that highly anticipated senior season. There's a lot of questions still about why, but Hammond did announce on Twitter that he is now declaring for this year's NFL draft. He leaves Air Force as the program's all-time leader in passing efficiency and in yards per completion. Serena Williams seeking her 8th Australian Open title this week. She has stayed at those 23 Grand Slam titles, one short of the record since winning the same tournament back in 2017. It was far from a perfect performance today in the quarterfinal round, but she did hold on to beat Simona Halep, advancing to the Final Four. So now we get that rematch we've been waiting for. Serena and Naomi Osaka, sort of the Tom Brady-Patrick Mahomes matchup of tennis, except these two women play defense too. How about that? Catch the semifinal match tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Adam?
Taylor, thanks. You know, winter weather is causing some issues across the country right now. And coming up on 11 News at 10 tonight, the record Colorado Springs Utilities says we hit as far as utilities use during the bitter cold. Plus, winter weather is also causing vaccine distribution to be delayed. We told you about that at the top of the newscast, but we're going to dig deeper to learn how it could impact the vaccine effort locally and statewide. Remember, KKTV 11 News is your breaking news leader. We're always at KKTV.com. Next newscast, as I said, is at 10 o'clock. So we will see you then. Have a great evening in the meantime.